we're live. Glad you could be with me. And it's lunchtime. I am a high school teacher, for those that don't know that, and lunch is not as long as I'd like it to be. I've got about 30 minutes generally at this point, about 21 minutes left for lunch, 26 maybe if I'm lucky. But I thought, it's a great opportunity to do a quick, maybe 10 or 15 minute live and talk a little bit about what I'm having for lunch today. So often people want to know, what do you eat in a day? Well, this isn't the whole day, but it is part of the day. And let me just share with you what I've had. I did post a video earlier today about the fact that plant-based does not equal perfection, right? But that it's about progress. And while everything I'm eating here is plant-based, I do have a couple of compromises in today's meal, and I think they're worth talking about just to kind of show you that it doesn't always have to be exactly right. For those that don't know, I am on a journey to lose 100 pounds in 2025. I've lost 98 pounds so far. I've got 2 pounds left to go. I'm in the home stretch and things are looking good. Looks like I may cross that finish line soon, so I'm really looking forward to that. So what have I got for lunch today? Well, today I'm having some pasta. And I'm going to do a couple of things with this pasta, but I'm also going to explain it a little bit. People have asked if I eat breads or pastas or things like that. And typically when I cook at home, I like to use chickpea or red lentil pasta. But when I cooked this the other day, I decided to go ahead and make it not just for myself, but for the others in my family as well. I wasn't cooking just for me. I was cooking for everybody. And so I compromised a little bit, and I compromised in 2 ways. So I'm going to tell you how I compromised on this meal and what I'm going to do in just a moment to make it just a little bit healthier. So the first thing was I used regular pasta, okay? I used regular pasta. I've got some really beautiful elbow macaroni there, if you can see that. It's got the nice ridges. This is really some delicious macaroni. And so I went ahead and made those pasta shells, and then I used just a regular store-bought sauce. Now, usually when I make sauce for myself, I like to blend tofu in with the sauce to up the protein content, but again, I wasn't the only one eating it, and I wanted to be sensitive to what everybody else wanted as well. So I just used regular old jarred pasta sauce, nothing special. I did add a little bit of extra garlic and Italian seasoning to ramp up the flavor a bit, but that's it. What I then added were some sauteed onions, mushrooms, and carrots and garlic. And that's the vegetables that you see in there. It's just chopped carrot, sliced portobello mushrooms, and a little bit of onion. Now again, this was a second area of compromise. Normally, when I saute vegetables, I don't use any oil. But in this instance, I decided to go ahead and use a little bit of oil, and I used 2 tablespoons. And when I say I used 2 tablespoons, I mean I measured 2 tablespoons to put into this huge skillet in which I sauteed an entire onion, some garlic, 2 or 3 carrots sliced up, and a whole lot of mushrooms. I mean, I filled that whole pan. And so that little bit of oil did help make it a little easier to saute it. I like to avoid oil when I'm cooking, but in this particular instance, because of what I was trying to make and how much of it I was trying to make, hey everybody, hey Car Valley, good to have you here. So I did use a little bit of oil in it, but I accounted for that. And so I sauteed all of those together and I added them to the pasta dish. Now, today's lunch is a good example of something that I recommended previously in order to, be plant-based on a budget, and that is cook once, eat twice. Well, in this instance, this is cook once, eat thrice, because this is the 3rd time in the last 2 days, or the last 3 days, that I've had this meal, and this is actually the last of that pasta. So what am I going to do to make this just a little bit healthier? I'm going to do this. I'm going to add a cup of chickpeas. Now, these chickpeas are unseasoned. I cooked these in my Instant Pot from dried chickpeas, and they are pretty flavorless. They don't have a whole lot of flavor. But this pasta that I have has a ton of flavor. So by adding these chickpeas to it, I'm not violating the flavor profile at all. I'm not adding something that is going to, change it per se. But what it is going to do is it's going to add some extra fiber. It's going to add some extra protein. And yes, I am at school. It's my lunch break. So I'm hiding in my classroom to have this little live stream with you guys and eat a little bit of my lunch. So yes, my room is very bland looking from this angle. I've got decorations along the walls, but it gets too busy when I try to record with those in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these chickpeas in with this pasta that I have already warmed up. And this is going to be an absolutely delicious lunch. I'm really looking forward to trying it. Let me give that a taste. Excuse me. There we go. So, yes, I am hungry, actually. And the reason I'm hungry is I've pretty much been fasting until now. It's about 12 o'clock. I did preload with an apple. So I had an apple at about 11:30. But that was it. That was, oh, I'm making you hungry. That was me breaking my fast. So what have I had to eat today? I started the day with a cup of coffee, black coffee. I don't put cream or sugar in my coffee. And then I fasted until about 11:30. And at 11:30, I had an apple. And after that, I went to a meeting that I needed to have to do some planning and then came back here for lunch. So this is actually the first full meal I'm eating today. And my plan is to eat this, and I've brought some other snacks with me. One of the snacks that I brought for later, check this out, is a potato. Someone asked me the other day, do you include potatoes? And they were talking about how satiating they are. And the answer is yes, I do eat potatoes. In fact, I eat them just like this. I won't probably put anything on this potato. I will just eat it straight out of my hand like an apple. I use Yukon Gold potatoes because they have a very mild flavor, or at least yellow potatoes. And I'll wash them and cook them in my Instant Pot for about 14 minutes on pressure, and then let that pressure release naturally. And then I take them and I put them in the refrigerator, and I leave them in the refrigerator overnight. By putting them in the refrigerator overnight, they change and they become more of a resistant starch, which has a lower impact on your blood sugar. Do I normally fast until late morning? I wouldn't say that I normally fast until late morning, but I often fast until late morning. Bro needs to stop eating Biggie, Jake. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so I don't always fast until late morning, but I often do, especially on work days. If I'm working, sometimes it's just easier to fast until late morning. If I do have breakfast, it's almost always one of two things. It's either a smoothie or it's overnight oats. And on the weekend, that's generally what I have as well. I don't, like I said, I probably fast until late morning 4 out of 7 days a week. And then those other 3 days, I don't necessarily fast. And I try to maintain about an 8 to 12 hour feeding window. So I do incorporate some intermittent fasting to my plant-based diet. So anyway, yeah, that's it. And so this is about 8 minutes that we've spent together, and I don't really like to eat on screen. It's kind of gross for y'all, I'm sure, to see me chewing bite after bite here. And so I do have a little bit of lunch that I need to eat. So I'm going to say goodbye, but before I do, does anyone have any questions, comments, or anything that they'd like me to address prior to signing off from this very, very short live stream? Your bestie says hello bestie. Cats are the best. I do like cats. I was always a dog person myself, but my wife has sort of won me over. Cats are pretty cool. We've got some. Already answered Penny's question, so Penny, thank you for that question. And let's see. Am I on a health journey? Yes, absolutely, I am on a health journey. Thank you for asking that question, Penny. I started at the beginning of this year at 335 pounds, and I have lost 98 pounds over the last 10 months. I've done that by eating a mostly whole food, plant-based diet and walking. Those are pretty much all that I've done. I've done a little bit of weight training, just mostly machines and stuff at the gym. I'm trying to work that more into my life. What is my favorite food? Wow. Right now, probably oats. I love overnight oats. I love hot oats. I eat oats a lot. I eat oats for breakfast. I eat oats sometimes for lunch. If I'm in a hurry and I already have some prepared and I don't have time to cook dinner in a reasonable amount of time, I'll sometimes eat oats for dinner. So it's very, very common for me to have oatmeal, and I'd say that oats are probably my favorite food right about now. Chickpeas are a close second. I love chickpeas. They're delicious. Let's see, bread duck. I'm about to be 30, and I'm wondering if next year going to fly by and look. Yes, you do blink, and your 50s are upon you. It happens fast. The good news is you still don't feel old, right? I mean, physically you can start to if you don't take care of your health. So here's my advice to you, bread duck. Take care of your health now while you're young so that you don't have to try to reclaim it later when you're older. Brian Isabella. Hello, Brian. Hey, this food is very tasty and it's calling to me. I'm very eager to go and have my lunch. So I'll be signing off here in just a moment or two. Bob the Builder. God loves you too, Bob. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's so great to hear from you guys. Glad you stopped in. Glad you came by to say hi. One quick note, I am not asking anybody for anything, but if you felt so inclined and you wanted to contribute financially to the channel, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link in my bio, so feel free to click on that. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, it's appreciated, but absolutely not necessary or even requested. Just letting you know about it because it's a new thing I've added to the channel. Well, I will say, unashamedly, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I'd appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content and you'd like to be notified of future content like this, feel free to subscribe and join the community. This is a pretty active community with lots of people sharing in the comments. I do my very best to read and reply to every comment as soon as possible. So, you know, feel free to subscribe, feel free to leave a comment. If you're on a health journey of your own and you'd like support and encouragement along the way, please leave a comment. Let us know what you're trying to do, and we'll do the best that we can as a community to encourage you. Thank you so much for taking some time to spend with me as I had lunch, or as I am about to have lunch today. But speaking of lunch, I'm going to go eat mine now. You guys have a blessed day.